Hello guys, and thank you for watching this video lecture. In the previous lecture, I show you how to create different tables in MS SQL Server. So we have generated many tables here. You can see like advisor, classroom, course, department, instructor, and many more, right? Now, I want to show you how to insert data in here. So we had, for example, one student table. So select all from student. And you can see here we have a student ID, name, department name, and total credit. Sometimes you want to, add some auto increment in student ID with a specific format. For example, CS something, right? Like I want to create a table like student one, and in there we have a student ID in like, for example, CS001, something like this, and it go for auto increment. We do not need to enter again and again. And when you add a new student, this ID will be incremented by one automatically. I want to see my student design, just right click and design. So here you can see a student ID, name, department name, and total credit. I can add any more attributes here. Let's define, like, for example, create a table, and this one I will call it as student one. In order to define the ID to be incremented, I have to write like this. ID is integer, and it is not null, and it is identity one by one. It means it will start with one, and it will go one by one, and also it is primary key, right? Then here, CS ID as CS plus write 0000 plus convert varchar of 5 and ID and 6 and per system, right? So I will explain what happened here. This CS is a string that I want to use as a prefix. Then this convert varchar 5 and ID. This convert the ID that I have defined here, and this is an integer, to a string of varchar with a maximum length of 5. And this 000 adds leading zeros to the string version of ID. So for example, 001. Then this write takes the rightmost 6 characters of the concatenated string, like 000 plus ID, and also CS, because this CS is 2 characters and the padded ID is up to 4 characters, like 001. This ensures a consistent format. So the result of this one will be like CS0002. Then here we have persisted. This is a keyword that indicates the computed value is physically stored in the database rather than the calculated on the fly every time it is queried. So with this one, we can generate a customized ID. Then we have like name. Name is varchar like 50. Then we have depth name. Depth name is also varchar like 20. And also we have total credit that is integer, right? Okay, so let's try this one. Command completed successfully. And now let's see what we have made. Select all from student one. And you can see here ID, CS ID, name, department name, and total credit. Now let's add some data to this table. Insert into student one. Name, you don't need to go for ID because it is auto incremented. Name, depth, name, and total credit. And values are, for example, John, CSE, and 65, right? Then we will run this code, and then we will run this one. So you can see here CS001 has been added. So let's go for another student, like this time Lee CSE 15, right? Then you can see here affected, and here's CS0002 Lee CSE 50. In this way, we can have an auto-incremented attribute. Now I want to talk about how to insert data into your tables. There are 5 ways to insert data in tables. So one is we insert a single row. The second one, we insert without column name. The third one is insert multiple rows. The fourth one is insert from another table. And the last one, what we can say the best one, is to load data from a .csv file, right? So in today's lecture, I'm going to explain all of them one by one. So let's go for classroom table. So this is the classroom table. So if you see the design, we have building, we have room number, and we have also, you can change the table here. So I want to add some data to this table. So select all from classroom, building, room number, and capacity. So the first one is to insert in a single row. Insert in a single row. Okay, so for this one, simply we write insert into classroom, into classroom, then we have to decide which data we are going to update. So building, room number, and capacity, right? And then values, for example, values are Watson, room number B102, and capacity is 50, right? Then you can see here, this data has been added, and if I see Watson B102 50 has been added. The next one is to enter information without column name, right? So for this one, simply insert into classroom, and simply values. So values are, for example, another room Watson B103 and capacity is 40, right? Execute, then see what do we have here. So Watson B103 40. The next way is enter multiple rows, So insert into classroom, then values, and here you can add any values you want, right? For example, 104, 105, 106, 107, and 20, 10, and 70, right? In this way, there must be a comma after each one. All right, so let's see the classroom. You can see all have been added here. Sometimes you have one table and you want to copy information from that one, right? So let's create another table. So the fourth one is to insert from another table. So let's make another table like create table classroom 2. And in here, building varchar 15 not null, then room number varchar 7 and not null, then capacity a small int, and we check that capacity is greater than or equal to 0, and primary key is building room number. So this is another table, primary key. All right, so let's see classroom 2. Select all from classroom 2, and you can see here building room number. We had one table that is classroom, right? So this one I want to copy in classroom 2. For this one, simply I can write insert into classroom 2, building room number and capacity, then select all from classroom. All right, so here you can see affected. Now, if I execute this one, I can see that all the data from classroom has been copied in classroom 2. Now, let's talk about an easier way to insert data, and that is using CSV file. CSV file or comma separated values file is a kind of plain text file, or you can make it with Excel, and we use it to store tabular data such as spreadsheets or database tables. To do that, simply you go to Excel, and in here, open a file, just simply enter your information. Building, room number, and capacity, right? So building A, like four rooms in building A, 3 rooms in building B, and in building C, room numbers like B101, B102, B103, B104, B201, B202, B203, B301, and B101, right? Capacity 10, 20, 30, 30, 40, 70, 10, 50, 60, right? So this is the file, very easy to enter information here. We will save it as a CSV file. So just simply we go for save as, browse. Then, for example, like in this E drive, I will go for CSV, comma delimited. Then I will say classroom underscore data. Then I will save it. And also I need to close this Excel. So let's see what do we have in our classroom. So next we will delete whatever we have in the classroom. Now we want to import those CSV data. So bulk insert classroom. Then from where our data is located, E column / classroom data.csv. Then in here with, so here field terminator is equal to comma It means the cells are separated using a comma in CSV file. Then row terminator is equal to \n. It means a new line, right? And first row is equal to 2 because in our file, the first row is header and our data starts from the second row, okay? So we will execute this one and you can see here. Now, let's see what do we have in our classroom table. You can see we have all the data that we have in CSV file, or we have all of them here. Now we want to insert information in our table. Just I will copy paste. For example, I want to add to classroom some data. So just I will copy paste here. So these are the data that we want to add to classroom. So again, you can see the classroom. You can see this data has been added. Then I will add some data to the course table. So I can see the select all from course, right? So you can see this data has been added to course table. Then I will add some data to the instructor table. So let's see the instructor table. Select all from instructor. Okay, so let's add some data to the time slot table. So you can see here, select all from time slot. These are the time slot that we have added. Then the next table that we want to add is a prerequisite table. So select all from prerequisite table. All right. Next, let's add to the student table. So if you have information there already, you may get error, but you can see here now it's okay. Student table is okay. Next, let's go for department table. This is for department table. There is some error. Let's see what do we have in department table. Okay, let's remove all. Okay, now let's run this one. Okay, correct. Department is okay. Now let's go for section table. Section table, okay. Select all from section. Correct. Now let's go for teach table. All right. Select all from teach. Correct. Then go for text table. All right. Select all from text. Correct. And last one is advisor. Correct. Select all from advisor. That's all. We have entered information into our tables. Okay, in this lecture, we learn how to insert data into tables. First, I show you how to generate a table with auto-increment ID. Then I show you how to insert a single row with attributes, without attributes, how to add multiple lines here, how to insert from another table, or how to insert data from a CSV file. Then we have added some exemplary data to our tables. In the next lecture, we will learn how to make different queries from our tables. Please practice and feel free to ask me your questions by leaving a comment below this video. Thank you and see you in the next lecture.